Let me tell you something right now. Life doesn't hand you success, peace, or purpose on a silver platter. It doesn't say, here you go, it's all yours. No, life says, show me what you're made of. Show me if you've got the mindset to push through. Life doesn't hand out rewards without effort. Every achievement, every success, and every ounce of peace you seek requires intentional action. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, looking up at its daunting height. That mountain represents your dreams, your goals, and everything you aspire to achieve. You can't stand there waiting for the mountain to lower itself to your level. You have to climb. Life is much the same. It demands that you take the first step, and then the next, and then the one after that, even when you're unsure where the path may lead. People often wait for life to show them the way, but waiting is the trap. You see, there's no roadmap handed to you at birth. No guidebook outlining every twist and turn you'll encounter. The reality is, you have to forge your own path, and that starts with action. It's easy to sit back and hope that circumstances will change, that luck will come knocking, or that someone will come along to rescue you. But the truth is, nothing changes until you decide to move. Think about a seed buried deep in the soil. It doesn't grow into a towering tree by simply existing. It has to push through the dirt, reach for the sunlight, and weather the elements. Growth is an active process, not a passive one. And just like that seed, you have to push through the resistance, through the difficulties, and through the self-doubt. Life rewards those who show up and do the work, not those who wait for an invitation. The beauty of taking action is that it sets things in motion. When you take even the smallest step, you create momentum. Momentum has a way of propelling you forward, giving you the energy to tackle the next challenge. But without that initial step, without the courage to act, nothing happens. Action is the key that unlocks potential. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Sometimes fear holds us back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of success. But what's worse, the fear of falling, or the regret of never trying. Fear will always exist. It's a natural part of life, but it should never paralyze you. When you take action in spite of your fears, you diminish their power. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than the things you're afraid of. Imagine someone who spends their whole life waiting for the perfect opportunity. They wait for the stars to align, for circumstances to be just right, for that magical moment when everything feels easy. But guess what? That moment never comes. Perfection is an illusion. If you keep waiting for it, you'll miss out on countless opportunities to grow, learn, and achieve. The time to act is always now. Effort is non-negotiable. The truth is, life doesn't cater to those who are passive. It doesn't reward those who hesitate or procrastinate. It favors the doers, the risk takers, and the ones who aren't afraid to fail. Every great success story you've ever heard started with someone willing to take a chance. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions or for someone to hand them an opportunity. They created their own. Action also builds confidence. Each step you take reinforces the belief that you are capable. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn through experience. The more you show up and put in the effort, the more you'll trust in your own abilities. And that trust will carry you through the inevitable challenges that life throws your way. It's important to understand that the size of the action doesn't matter as much as the consistency of it. You don't have to make giant leaps every day. Sometimes all you need is a single step forward. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Over time, those small steps add up to significant change. The world is full of opportunities, but they won't come to you while you're standing still. You have to go out and seize them. Whether it's learning a new skill, starting a project, or even just taking the time to reflect on your goals, every action you take moves you closer to the life you want. The reality is, life will never be easy, and success will never come without effort. But that's the beauty of it. The challenges, the hard work, the persistence, it's what makes the journey worthwhile. When you look back and see how far you've come, you'll realize that every step, every struggle, and every ounce of effort was worth it. Life demands action. And when you rise to meet that demand, you unlock your true potential. Perfection is often the greatest enemy of progress. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking everything has to be flawless before you move forward. You want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, and the perfect outcome. But life doesn't work that way. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you'll spend your entire life waiting. The mindset you need understands that it's not about being perfect, it's about being committed. Commitment is the foundation of growth and success. It's the driving force that keeps you moving even when things aren't ideal. Think about it, no one has all the answers when they start. No one is fully prepared for every twist and turn life throws their way. But those who succeed are the ones who keep going despite the uncertainties. They commit to the process, knowing that perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Perfectionism can paralyze you. It convinces you that if you can't do something perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all. It whispers that every mistake is a failure and that every imperfection is a reason to quit. But mistakes aren't failures, they're lessons. Imperfections aren't weaknesses, they're opportunities to improve. The mindset you need embraces imperfection because it knows that growth comes from trying, failing, and learning. When you're committed, you're willing to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. You understand that success isn't built in a single moment, but through consistent effort over time. Commitment means doing the work, not just when it's convenient or exciting, but when it's challenging and mundane. It's about showing up for yourself, even when no one else is watching. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece. They don't expect every stroke of the brush to be perfect. There will be moments of doubt, areas they need to adjust, and parts of the canvas that require a second or third try. But they keep going because they're committed to the vision. Life is much the same. You can't expect every decision you make to be flawless, but you can stay committed to the bigger picture. Commitment also requires courage. It takes courage to step into the unknown, to try something new, or to pursue a goal when you're not sure how it will turn out. Fear of imperfection often holds people back, but the mindset you need understands that fear is part of the process. It's not about eliminating fear, but acting in spite of it. Every time you take a step forward, even when you're scared, you build resilience and strength. You don't need to have everything figured out to start. Many people believe they need a foolproof plan before they can move forward, but that's not true. Plans are important, yes, but they don't have to be perfect. The reality is that plans will change. Life will throw unexpected challenges your way, and you'll have to adapt. The mindset you need is flexible. It understands that commitment means being willing to adjust and grow as you go. Think about athletes training for a marathon. They don't start out running 26 miles perfectly. They start small, building their stamina and strength over time. They're committed to the process, knowing that it's not about being perfect every step of the way, but about staying consistent. Some days they'll run faster, other days they'll struggle. But they keep going because they're focused on the goal, not on perfection. Commitment also means embracing the journey. Too often, people focus solely on the end result and forget to appreciate the process. They want the reward, but don't value the effort it takes to get there. The mindset you need finds meaning in the journey, recognizing that every challenge, every setback, and every victory is part of the story. When you're committed, you learn to find joy in the process, even when it's tough. One of the most powerful things about commitment is that it builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you strengthen your confidence. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you can handle adversity, and that you have what it takes to succeed. Over time, this trust becomes unshakable. It's important to remember that commitment isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about doing your best with what you have, where you are, and continuing to move forward. You may not have all the answers, and that's okay. What matters is that you're willing to try, to learn, and to grow. Perfection might seem appealing, but it's often just a disguise for fear. Commitment, on the other hand, is real. It's powerful, and it's what will carry you through when things get tough. When you're committed, you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop hesitating and start doing. You understand that every small step forward is a victory, and that every misstep is a chance to learn. Commitment is what turns dreams into reality, not perfection. It's the mindset you need to unlock your potential and achieve greatness. Too often, people hold back, waiting for the perfect time to take action. They wait for all the pieces to fall into place, for every uncertainty to be resolved, and for a feeling of readiness to wash over them. But here's the truth: the perfect time doesn't exist. Life doesn't pause and rearrange itself to make everything easy for you. The moment you've been waiting for, it's already here. The time to act is now, even if the circumstances aren't perfect, even if you're not completely ready. Waiting for the right time is often a way to avoid stepping outside of your comfort zone. It feels safer to wait, to prepare just a little longer, or to keep planning. But the more you wait, the more opportunities slip through your fingers. Life isn't going to hand you a neatly packaged moment that screams, "Now is the time." It's up to you to decide that the present is enough, that you are enough, and that you can take the first step even if you don't have everything figured out. Acting now doesn't mean you have to be reckless or unprepared. It means recognizing that progress starts with a decision, and that decision doesn't require perfection. It requires courage. It's about being willing to take a step forward, even if the path ahead is unclear. The mindset you need understands that clarity comes from action, not the other way around. When you move, you learn. When you try, you grow. But none of that can happen if you're stuck waiting for an ideal moment that may never come. Think about all the great accomplishments in history. The inventors, the leaders, the dreamers, they didn't wait for everything to align perfectly. They started with what they had, where they were, and figured things out along the way. They understood that waiting for perfection was just an excuse to avoid the discomfort of starting. And yes, starting is uncomfortable. It's messy. It's filled with uncertainty. But it's also where the magic happens. There's a saying: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That step might feel small, insignificant even, but it's the most important step you'll ever take. Why? Because it sets everything in motion. It breaks the cycle of procrastination and fear. It tells the world and yourself that you're serious about moving forward. Once you take that first step, momentum begins to build. Each subsequent step becomes a little easier, and before you know it, you're making progress. Fear often disguises itself as a need for perfect timing. You might tell yourself, "I'll start when I feel more confident," or "I'll act when the situation improves," but confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Every small action you take builds your belief in your own abilities. Similarly, waiting for the situation to improve ignores the fact that you have the power to create change. Life is rarely perfect, but it's always full of opportunities for those who are willing to take them. The present moment is powerful because it's the only moment you truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. If you keep postponing action, you're gambling with time you can't get back. Think about all the dreams and goals you've had over the years. How many of them are still sitting on the shelf, waiting for the right time? How much further along could you be if you had started even one of them when the idea first crossed your mind? Action is transformative. When you start, you prove to yourself that you can. That proof builds momentum, and that momentum creates results. But more importantly, it changes your mindset. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to wait and start seeing them as challenges to overcome. You stop relying on external circumstances to dictate your readiness and start relying on your own determination. There's a misconception that success requires massive leaps, but more often it's the result of small, consistent steps. You don't need to conquer everything in one day. You just need to do something today. Whether it's writing the first page of a book, reaching out to a potential mentor, or taking a walk to clear your mind, every action matters. Each one builds on the last, creating a foundation for long-term success. Starting now also teaches you to adapt. When you take action, you encounter challenges that force you to think creatively and problem solve. These experiences are invaluable because they prepare you for even bigger challenges down the road. If you wait until everything is perfect, you miss out on the chance to develop these skills. You rob yourself of the opportunity to grow. The time to act isn't when you feel ready. It's when you decide to move forward despite your doubts. That decision is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who simply dream about them. You don't need to have all the answers, and you don't need to know exactly where the path will lead. What you need is the courage to start, the commitment to keep going, and the faith that the steps you take today will lead you closer to where you want to be. Your life is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. The present is a gift, and every moment you spend waiting is a moment you'll never get back. If you want to change your life, improve your circumstances, or chase a dream, you have to start now. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And the only way to find out what's possible is to take that first step. Adversity is an inescapable part of life. It doesn't ask for permission to enter your world, nor does it come at a convenient time. It arrives unannounced, challenging your strength, your resolve, and your character. But within every struggle lies an opportunity, a chance to grow, to adapt, and to become more than you were before. The mindset you need sees adversity not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey toward success and fulfillment. It's easy to wish for a life without hardship, a path free from challenges. But without adversity, there's no growth. Think about the strongest trees in a forest. They're the ones that have endured fierce winds and storms. Their roots have dug deeper into the soil to withstand the forces against them. People are much the same. Challenges test your limits and force you to dig deeper within yourself, to discover strengths you didn't know you had. When adversity strikes, your first instinct might be to retreat, to look for an escape. But avoiding challenges only postpones the inevitable. Instead, the mindset you need is one that leans into adversity, embracing it as a teacher. Every difficulty you face holds a lesson, a piece of wisdom you can carry forward. It might teach you patience, resilience, or creativity. It might show you the value of persistence or the importance of leaning on others for support. These lessons are invaluable, but they can only be learned if you're willing to face the challenges head on. Adversity also has a way of clarifying your priorities. When things are going smoothly, it's easy to get distracted by trivial matters or to lose sight of what truly matters. But when you're in the middle of a storm, you're forced to focus on what's essential. It strips away the noise and reveals what's most important to you, your values, your goals, and the people who stand by your side. This clarity is a gift, a reminder of what's worth fighting for. Overcoming adversity also builds confidence. Every time you face a challenge and come out the other side, you prove to yourself that you're capable. You show yourself that you can endure, adapt, and overcome. This confidence becomes a part of you, a well of strength you can draw from in future challenges. It reminds you that no matter how difficult things get, you have what it takes to persevere. It's important to remember that adversity doesn't define you, how you respond to it does. You have a choice in how you approach challenges. You can let them defeat you, or you can use them to propel yourself forward. The mindset you need chooses the latter. It understands that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. This sense of agency is powerful. It shifts the narrative from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. Adversity also brings growth in ways that comfort never can. When everything is easy, you stay within your comfort zone. But growth doesn't happen there. Growth happens when you're stretched, when you're pushed beyond what you thought you could handle. It's in those moments of struggle that you discover your potential. The mindset you need recognizes this and welcomes the challenges as opportunities for expansion. Facing adversity also deepens your empathy and compassion. When you've been through tough times, you understand what it feels like to struggle. This understanding allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, to offer support and encouragement to those who are facing their own challenges. Adversity doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you kinder, more understanding, and more attuned to the struggles of others. It's also worth noting that adversity often leads to innovation and creativity. When things don't go as planned, you're forced to think outside the box, to find new solutions and new paths forward. Many of the greatest inventions and breakthroughs in history were born out of adversity. The mindset you need understands that challenges are not the end of the road, but a chance to pivot, to adapt, and to discover something new. Adversity teaches you the value of gratitude. When you've been through difficult times, you learn to appreciate the good moments all the more. You don't take success, happiness, or stability for granted because you know what it feels like to struggle. This gratitude enriches your life, giving you a deeper appreciation for the journey and the people who walk it with you. Life will always have its share of challenges. You can't avoid them, but you can choose how you respond to them. The mindset you need isn't about wishing away adversity. It's about embracing it as a catalyst for growth, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you face challenges with this perspective, you transform them from obstacles into opportunities, and you emerge not just as a survivor, but as someone who has truly thrived. The power of visualization is often underestimated, yet it is one of the most transformative tools you can use to shape your life and achieve your goals. The ability to see a clear image of where you want to go and who you want to become creates a roadmap for your actions. When you visualize your success, you're not just daydreaming, you're training your mind to focus, your emotions to align, and your spirit to stay motivated. Visualization allows you to turn abstract dreams into something tangible and achievable. Every great accomplishment begins with a vision. Before a building is constructed, there's an architect's blueprint. Before an athlete wins a championship, they've imagined that victory countless times in their mind. This mental imagery isn't just fantasy, it's preparation. When you vividly picture your goals, you're rehearsing for their realization. You're telling your mind, this is where I'm going, and your mind begins to work in alignment with that vision. Visualization works because your brain doesn't always distinguish between imagined experiences and real ones. Studies have shown that when you vividly imagine yourself performing a task, your brain activates the same neural pathways as if you were physically doing it. This mental rehearsal builds confidence, sharpens focus, and prepares you to take the necessary steps. It's like giving yourself a head start before you even begin. But visualization isn't just about imagining the end result, it's about immersing yourself in the process. It's one thing to picture yourself standing on the podium after a victory, but it's even more powerful to imagine every step that got you there, the long hours of practice, the moments of doubt you overcame, and the sacrifices you made. When you visualize the journey as well as the destination, you prepare yourself for the effort and persistence required. You condition your mind to stay committed, even when challenges arise. The key to effective visualization is clarity. A vague idea won't inspire action or commitment. You need to create a detailed picture of what success looks like for you. What does it feel like, sound like, even smell like? Engage all your senses. If your goal is to start a successful business, don't just imagine the financial rewards. Picture the day-to-day operations, the satisfaction of solving problems, and the joy of seeing your efforts make an impact. The more vivid and specific your vision, the more real it becomes to you, and the harder you'll work to bring it to life. Visualization also helps you overcome doubt and fear. When you clearly see yourself succeeding, you start to believe that it's possible. This belief is critical because doubt can be paralyzing. It makes you second-guess your abilities and hesitate when you should be taking action. But when your vision is strong, it becomes a counterweight to those doubts. It reminds you of what you're working toward and why it's worth the effort. Another powerful aspect of visualization is its ability to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you're building. You start to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and this shift in perspective can change everything. When you approach your goals with a mindset of possibility, you attract the resources, people, and circumstances that help you move forward. Visualization isn't just a one-time exercise, it's a practice. It's something you do daily, reinforcing your goals and keeping them at the forefront of your mind. Take a few moments each day to close your eyes and revisit your vision. Picture it in detail. Feel the emotions associated with achieving it, and remind yourself why it matters. This practice keeps you motivated, especially on days when progress feels slow or setbacks occur. It's also important to combine visualization with action. Seeing the vision in your mind is the first step, but it won't become reality unless you back it up with effort. Visualization sets the direction, but action fuels the journey. The two work hand in hand. When you consistently visualize your goals, you stay focused, and when you take consistent action, you move closer to those goals. Visualization also trains your brain to recognize opportunities. When you have a clear vision, your mind becomes attuned to anything that aligns with it. You start noticing resources, connections, and ideas that might have otherwise passed you by. This phenomenon, known as the reticular activating system, is like a filter for your brain. It helps you zero in on what matters and ignore what doesn't. Visualization connects you to your purpose. It's a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing and who you want to become. Life can be overwhelming, and it's easy to lose sight of your goals amidst the noise and distractions. But when you take the time to visualize your success, you ground yourself in your purpose. You reignite your passion and renew your commitment to the path ahead. The journey toward your goals will have its ups and downs, but a strong vision keeps you steady. It gives you something to hold on to when the road gets rough, something to strive for when motivation wanes. Visualization isn't just about seeing a better future. It's about creating one. It's about believing in your potential and taking the steps to realize it, one action at a time. Faith is one of the most profound forces that can guide and sustain you through life's journey. It's not about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It's about trusting in something greater than yourself, a power that works beyond what you can see or understand. Faith is the foundation that keeps you standing when the winds of doubt and fear try to knock you down. It's the quiet assurance that even in the darkest moments, there's a purpose, a plan, and a reason to keep moving forward. In a world that constantly demands proof and guarantees, faith asks for trust without evidence. That can be difficult, especially when you're facing uncertainty or challenges that seem insurmountable. But faith isn't about ignoring reality, it's about believing that there's more to the story than what's immediately visible. It's about holding on to the belief that even when the odds are stacked against you, there's a way through, a solution waiting to be discovered, or a breakthrough on the horizon. Faith also has the power to silence the noise of doubt. When you're chasing your dreams or working toward a goal, there will always be voices internal and external telling you that it can't be done, that you're not enough, or that the risk is too great. Faith allows you to tune out those voices and focus on the possibilities instead of the limitations. It replaces fear with courage and hesitation with action. Trusting the process is another critical aspect of faith. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan, and sometimes it feels like progress is too slow or setbacks are too frequent. In those moments, it's easy to feel frustrated or discouraged. But faith reminds you that every step, no matter how small or challenging, is part of a larger journey. It teaches you to be patient, to keep going even when the results aren't immediately visible. Faith tells you that what you're doing matters, even if the payoff isn't immediate. Faith also requires surrender, not in the sense of giving up, but in letting go of the need to control every detail. It's about understanding that while you're responsible for your effort and your attitude, you can't control every outcome. Surrendering to faith means trusting that the pieces will fall into place, even if you can't yet see how. It's about letting go of the anxiety that comes from trying to force things to happen and instead focusing on doing your best with what you have. There's a profound strength in faith because it gives you resilience. When you have faith, setbacks don't feel like the end of the story, they feel like chapters in a much larger narrative. Faith allows you to view failure not as defeat, but as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. It reminds you that every struggle has the potential to shape you into a better version of yourself. Faith also fosters hope. In times of difficulty, hope can feel like a fragile thing, easily overshadowed by fear or despair. But faith keeps that hope alive. It's the belief that no matter how tough things get, there's light ahead. This hope becomes a source of energy and motivation, pushing you to keep striving, even when the road is rough. Faith and hope work hand in hand, each reinforcing the other. Another remarkable thing about faith is its ability to connect you to others. When you share your journey, your struggles, and your victories, you inspire those around you. Your faith can serve as a beacon, giving others the courage to believe in their own dreams and abilities. It creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity and strength far beyond your immediate circle. Faith isn't a one-time decision, it's a practice. It's something you choose daily, especially in moments of uncertainty or challenge. It's the decision to trust in the process, to keep moving forward, even when the way ahead isn't clear. This daily practice builds spiritual and emotional muscles, making you stronger and more equipped to face life's challenges. It's also important to note that faith isn't about perfection. It doesn't require you to never doubt or never struggle. Faith acknowledges that you're human, that there will be moments of fear, hesitation, and even questioning. But in those moments, faith reminds you to keep going, to hold on to the bigger picture, and to trust that you're not alone. Faith also teaches gratitude. When you trust that there's a purpose behind everything you experience, you begin to see even the challenges as blessings in disguise. You become thankful for the lessons, the growth, and the strength that come from adversity. Gratitude, in turn, deepens your faith, creating a cycle of positivity and resilience. At its core, faith is a source of freedom. It frees you from the burden of trying to control everything, from the weight of doubt, and from the fear of failure. It allows you to live with confidence and purpose, knowing that you're part of something greater, something meaningful. Faith gives you the courage to dream big, the strength to persevere, and the peace to know that you're on the right path, even when the way forward isn't clear.